Welcome back, everyone. Hope you're having a good morning. Well, you may have heard about some of the great makers here in Minnesota, what they are, who they are, and where you can find their products. And here with her picks for some of the best Minnesota makers is the host of Weekly Dish on My Talk 107.1, our dear friend, look at her. Look at her there in her beautiful kitchen, Stephanie Hansen, everyone.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Steph.
Yes.
We just had the segment. You're in that neck of the woods, too. I was of the Gnome. We just got an exclusive preview of the Gnome. You're there in that neck of the woods. It means a lot, doesn't it, to that neighborhood?
Yeah, it really does. And they have expanded their patio like almost fourfold, I think. That place was just a real gathering spot for beer drinkers, cider drinkers. They had a ton of crafts on tap and really supported a lot of Minnesota makers. And it was just a great neighborhood spot. I loved going there like after a giant snowfall in the winter because we could walk and have a cheeseburger and a beer. It was pretty great.
You ever see Todd Walker on a scooter? Beep, beep.
Actually, yes, Jason. I just saw him this morning and I was laughing because he's so cute. Just
I know. It's like Mrs. Gulch without the dog. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I also you spoke about Carl earlier and that he was a dancer at the Gnome. I mean, a server.
Yeah.
You know where I was a dancer.
Oh wow, this is fantastic.
It's coming full circle.
Where were you a dancer at, Steph?
I was a dancer at the Heartthrob Cafe in St. Paul. I was a dancing cocktail waitress.
I knew that about you. Oh, this is the best show ever. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Minnesota makers, you not only are you a foodie, but you know a lot about Minnesota makers. We want to highlight a few. Let's start with Freak Flag. What is this, Steph?
Okay, there's a guy in town and he was a marketer and he was working, his name's Fred Haberman. He was working on a lot of packaged goods and he was like, hey, I want to create some vegan, organic things and I can test all of the marketing that I've learned on my own products. So he developed a pesto line and he's got a bunch of products, but this is the tomato pesto. This is the kale pesto. And you put it on noodles or rice, or you can rub it on chicken. And it's just super delicious. The pesto is usually made with nuts and cheese. So this doesn't have that in it. So if you're vegan or organic, it's super tasty, but you don't have to have that. And then he's also doing these bone broths that he's just introducing that are going to be showing up at Whole Foods. And bone broth is super good for you, obviously, right? This is a chicken tortilla and this is a coconut chicken broth. And you can use them for cooking and making like rice more flavorful, but also you can just heat them up in a cup and drink them. I'm crazy about bone broth. I drink it every day for lunch. I've lost 10 pounds by just drinking bone broth.
Well, there's an endorsement right there. Sweet Science.
Okay, hold on, because this is going to be funny. Because I forgot.
What is she doing?
A couple.
What is she doing? She's out of control. What is she?
Look at this, Jace.
Okay.
Ice cream sandwiches that I had in the freezer. They're blondies, and inside them is a berry crumble ice cream and a banana ice cream. Look at that salted caramel layer.
Look at that, Steph.
Oh, so good. Sweet Science, she's amazing. She's a friend of mine. She makes the best ice cream. She's got a scoop shop in Keg and Case Market. And with COVID, she decided to make a lot of like single serve treats. And so they're selling these at the market. And honestly, first of all, the ice cream, they're berry crumble, they're salted caramel. Like, I'm a pint eater.
Yeah.
So that's a great pint to get. But these little ice cream sandwiches are fantastic. And they're gluten-free cookies. So, it's not like they're healthy, but they're all wholesome and all natural and make you feel very good.
Sweet Science. We have more with Pint Eater when we return. Stay right there, everybody. Back in a moment. Pint Eater. More with Stephanie Pint Eater Hansen with Minnesota Makers. Steph joins us again live from her house somewhere in St. Paul. Okay, so Sweet Science, I will endorse that as well. I love them. And again, I love highlighting good people. She's good people. So go out and buy Sweet Science. Okay, K Mama Sauce.
Okay, Casey Kai, he's also good people. He gives 30% of all of his proceeds back to local charities. And he makes a sauce that's like a gochujang sauce that his mom made in Korea. It's a Korean sauce. It's called K Mama sauce. And there's a mild and a spicy. And it would go on like rice or eggs or to glaze chicken or pork. Some people just use it like ketchup. It is delicious. And you can find it at Target and you can find it online and in local stores. And if you ever get to meet Casey, he's just a great guy.
I think you have it in the foreground there. Some marshmallows. What do we have
Oh,
here?
yeah. North Mallow is a great couple, and they were campers, and they just didn't like the marshmallows that they would be making at camp. So they decided to make a better one. So they have a vanilla bean, they have a chocolate chip, they also have a caramel swirl. And they're here, I'll open one up so you can see it. They're perfect for like if you're going to be going camping, which get out there and enjoy the great outdoors, people.
Yeah, come on, Steph. Have
I
you
mean,
met
look
me?
at these.
Yeah.
They're so cute.
Those are.
Jace, you like the outdoors?
Well, I do.
They're delicious. And
Yeah.
they're totally homemade with none of the junk in them. So no high fructose corn syrup. They're awesome.
I think, Hansen, Ebony, you've brought those into the studio before, or I
Yeah.
think you've given, maybe not on the show, but I've had them, and you're right. I'm not a big marshmallow guy, but I mean, I've looked like one over the years, but I mean, but I do love those.
They're fantastic. And they're if you want to have a little more flavor in your marshmallow when you're doing s'mores, they have like a s'more catering business. So they'll bring the s'mores out to you.
Yeah.
Where you can do an event or have a family gathering. They're just really fun, and they're a great couple too.
Talk to me about golden fig.
Okay, it's tomato season, and I just didn't feel like I couldn't bring this to your attention. This is a basil balsamic vinaigrette.
Okay.
And it's just vinegar, and it's got basil in it. You can maybe see the little chunks in there. And what you do is, like, tomato slicing season is right upon us, and sliced mozzarella for caprese salads. You just put this on your sliced tomatoes that you get from the farmer's market or the garden. It's ambrosia. It's like the best thing ever. And then speaking of basil, because I'm crazy about it, they also have this basil lemonade. And this is like awesome for a Moscow Mule where you just add some ginger beer, or you can make like just effervescent kind of, everybody likes the bootlegger.
Yeah.
It's kind of a take on that where you add a little club soda and maybe some vodka, maybe some gin, or maybe some rum.
Okay, Hansen, I think people think of you as, a fancy foodie girl. You know, that's people, oh, she's very fancy. She talks about, I want you to unplug and show me the most surprising thing in your refrigerator right now.
Oh my gosh.
Go get something out of your refrigerator. I want something.
Is so empty. I'm going to just see if we can.
Yeah. Show me something crazy.
The most surprising thing would probably be that there's some wine left in this bottle, because normally it would be empty. And let's see.
How about your freezer?
I mean,
your freezer.
Bone broth for my dog. That's pretty surprising. I literally hardly have any food in here, Jason.
How about your freezer? Is there any like duck or anything crazy?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
that gets a lot more interesting. Here we go. Okay.
Okay.
First of all, look how full it is.
Oh my goodness.
And this is like, I've been eating it down. Look at how much broth and soup I have in there. I literally have like 12 quarts of soup.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I have a soup problem and a freezer problem, and I have another freezer in the basement.
Oh, well, then what's in the freezer in the basement?
Like more soup, meat. I bought a half a pig, so I've been eating that down because I was pandemic prepared.
I know. I have to give Hansen credit where credit's due. At the beginning of January, when we were just hearing whispers about this pandemic, I had a lovely meal with Hansen, and she was like, girl, I went to Costco. I bought 80 pounds of pasta. I bought half a pig. I bought a giraffe. I bought wood. And we all made.
I had yeast. I had liquor.
Yeah.
I had bandages. I had masks. I had everything.
She had cans of gasoline. And I said, and we all made fun of you. And now who's laughing, right, Hansen? Now who's laughing?
I am laughing all the way to my very stocked full freezer. My husband likes meat. A meal is not a meal if there's not meat with the meal for him.
Yeah.
So even if I'm making soup, I have to have cheese or bread or something that's more, because it can't just be soup.
Well, thanks for playing our brand new game,
Yeah.
What's in Your Freezer? It's Stephanie Hansen, everyone. Catch Stephanie on The Weekly Dish Saturday mornings on My Talk 107.1 and head to her website, stephaniesdish.com. Love you, sweetheart. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. Meat. Girl has meat and soup.